Hi guys, welcome to Algebra 1, Lesson 30. Let's go ahead and jump in. We are talking about equations with parentheses. You guys have already worked with parentheses a lot, so this is nothing really new. This is just making sure that you understand when to do what in your equation. So when you have parentheses, remember, what do parentheses mean? Do me first. So when we have parentheses, that means you have to do it first. However, when you have something like this, where your variable is in your parentheses, 3 minus b, you can't do this first. So you have to get rid of it first. And the way that you get rid of it is by using the distributive property. So I have to distribute the 2 to the 3 and the negative b. So I multiply, 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times negative b, oops, sorry, my marker did a funny thing. 2 times negative b is negative 2b. And that equals b minus 5. Now I solve my equation. So I have variables on both sides of my equation. Remember, that means that I need to simplify as much as possible, then get my variables on one side. So I'm going to go ahead and move my negative 2b because I want to not have any negatives. So I'm going to add 2b to both sides. And that gives me 6 equals 3b. Because when I don't have any number in front of my variable, that automatically means 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Minus 5. I'm going to add 5 to both sides to get b by itself. So I get 11 equals 3b. And I've just run out of room over here, so I'm going to move over to this side just a little bit. So I have 11 equals 3b. I divide both sides by 3, so 11/3 equals b. And that's your final answer. Then you would want to plug that 11/3 back in place of b and solve to check it. Okay? There are basically 5 steps that we use when we're solving equations. You don't necessarily always have to use all 5. Like in this particular example, you didn't have to add like terms, you didn't have any before you started to simplify and before you moved over your variable. But let me read the 5 steps that we've learned. This is on page 123 of lesson 30. Eliminate parentheses is the first step. Add like terms on both sides. Here we didn't have any like terms on both sides to add, so we didn't do that step. Eliminate x on one side or the other, which that was what we did. Eliminate the constant term. So we got rid of the 5 on one side, and then we got rid of the constant term over there. Eliminate the coefficient of x. So we divided by 3 to eliminate. That's all that you have to do, okay? Now you're probably thinking, Miss Ashley, I have no idea what you were talking about. Basically, read through those steps and just solve your equation the way that we have been doing it, okay? Step by step. So let's do the next one, which is this pink one up at the top. 3 times 1 plus 2x plus 7 equals negative 4 times x plus 2. I'm going to start by multiplying. I'm going to distribute to get rid of my parentheses. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 3 times 2x is 6x, plus 7 equals negative 4x, because negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times a positive 2 is a negative 8. Okay, now I need to combine any like terms. I don't have any like terms with my variables, but 3 and 7 are like terms, so that's 10 plus 6 equals negative 4x minus 8. I want to combine my variables, so I'm going to add the 4x to both sides. I get 10 plus 10x equals negative 8. Okay, I still want to get x by itself, so I have to get rid of my constant term, which is the 10. So I'm going to subtract that from both sides. This leaves me with 10x over here equals, Well, negative 8 minus 10, that's the same as negative 8 plus negative 10, so that's negative 18. Divide both sides by 10 to get rid of that 10 with the x, and x equals negative 18 over 10. Okay? You can reduce this. This is not done. We have to reduce this, and that will give you x equals negative 9 over 5. Okay, let's go over here. 15 times 4 minus 5x equals 16 times 4 minus 6x plus 10. So first I'm going to distribute my 15. 15 times 4 is 60 minus 15 times 5. Let's see, what's 15 times 5? 75. X equals, now I distribute here. 16 times 4 is 64 minus 16 times 6 is 96. X, so that got rid of my parentheses, plus 10. Okay, there's nothing to simplify over here, but here I can simplify 64 plus 10. That gives me, to save space, I'm going to just go ahead and simplify on this line. 74. Okay, now I'm going to move my x over. I'm going to get rid of the 1 over here. Remember, you can do either side, so it's up to you what you choose. So I have a negative 96 plus a positive 75. So I have 96 minus 75 is 21x. The negative number has the greater absolute value, so it's negative. So I have 74 minus 21x, and I still have 60 over here. I'm going to subtract 74 from both sides. Ending up with a lot of negatives on this one. 60 minus 74 is a negative 14, which equals negative 21x. Divide by a negative 21. I have 14 over negative 21. Remember, a negative divided by a negative equals a positive, so it's going to leave you with 14 over 21, which equals x. Am I done? No, because I can reduce. 7 goes into both 14 and 21, so it becomes 2/3. All right? That's your answer. Okay, I have a couple more to show you, so hang in there for just a second. Okay, so to finish up this lesson, there's a special rule that we have when you have parentheses in equations if they are preceded by a negative sign or a positive sign. So if you have a positive sign, if you're adding whatever is in parentheses, 4x minus 3, for example, you can get rid of your parentheses by just dropping them, and it's 4x minus 3. But if your parentheses have a negative sign, in front of them, you can't just drop them. The rule is that you have to change the sign of every term, make it the opposite. So to drop my parentheses, positive 4x has to become negative 4x, and negative 3 has to become positive 3. So it changes. Okay, let's practice with it. So the first one is 12 minus 2x plus 5 equals negative 2 plus x minus 3. So according to my rule, this becomes 12 minus 2x, because I multiply a negative 1 times 2x, negative 2x, minus 5, okay, it has to be the opposite sign, minus 5, equals, negative 2 doesn't change. I have a positive sign here, so I can just drop my parentheses. So plus x minus 3. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. 12 minus 5 is 7 minus 2x equals negative 2 minus 3. That's a negative 2 plus a negative 3, so that's negative 5 plus x. Okay, I'm going to add my 2x to both sides. That gives me 7 equals negative 5 plus 3x. I'm going to add 5 to both sides to cancel out my negative 5. And that gives me 12 equals 3x. Put that up here so I can finish up my problem. 12 equals 3x, divide by 3. 4 equals x. So then I would put 4 back in place of x up here in order to check it. All right, one more before we do your practice. Negative 4y minus 17 plus negative y equals 2y minus 1 minus negative y. Okay, I have negative 4y minus 17. So that means I have to change the sign of each term in my parentheses. So it becomes negative 4y plus 17. Then I have plus negative y. Well, since it's a positive sign, I can just drop the parentheses. But I actually don't really want to drop the parentheses because they're protecting that negative, making it less confusing. So I'm going to keep them in this case. Equals, I have nothing in front, so that means positive, so I can just drop my parentheses. 2y minus 1 minus a negative y. Well, when you subtract a negative, that's the same as adding. So I'm adding y. Okay, now I'm going to combine my terms. Negative 4 plus a negative y is negative 5y plus 17 equals 2y plus y is 3y minus 1. Okay, now I'm going to add 5y to both sides to cancel out on this side. That gives me 17 equals 3y plus 5y is 8y minus 1. So I'll add 1 to both sides. I get 18 equals 8y. Divide by 8, divide by 8. I reduce this fraction, 18 and 8, their greatest common factor is 2. So that becomes 9 over 4 equals y. And that's your final answer. Okay, let me know if you have any questions on that. Go ahead and do your practice. Okay, you should be back from doing your practice. You have A, B, and C ready to go. A, C equals 2. B, C equals 1. And C, Z equals 8. Okay, let me know if you're struggling with any part of this lesson. I'd be happy to help you guys. Love you so much. Bye.